Hello to all you poker players out there, and welcome back here to the nerdy and nitty gritty side of poker, where I try and improve my game in Limit Omaha. I have played two sessions since the last time, 1,522 hands, and I end up losing $65. I actually should have been losing $116, but my average all-in equity is 54.5, which is decent and okay. So it is what it is. Today I'm gonna want to mention a little thing about focus or tilt. If you take a look at here, from I'm up $13 and down here, then I'm down $89 within a span of 100 hands. So obviously I didn't run super well in those 100 hands. Now these swings happens not as often to me these days as it did before, but they can easily happen. It's not out of the ordinary at all. But I remember some of the hands, and I've been looking through some of the hands. We will go through 4 hands today, and what also happened was that I did a thing that is just I think many people do, and it's a kind of unforgivable. I was focused on, if we see here, I'm like I need 200 hands here at this point of time in that session to get to 1,000 hands, and that was what I was aiming for, to get 1,000 hands in yesterday. And then I opened a browser and opened for the Phil Galfond challenge, and I totally lost focus here in this period of time, and I'm 100% certain that I would have folded some of the hands instead of putting my money in if I had been super focused. Now shout out to Big Phil for turning that heads up challenge versus Wenividi around. I really enjoy that challenge, but still, if I want to play my best game, then I have to not care about the Phil Galfond challenge when I play, and focus on my own game. And I have 3 sentences for you people: be absorbed, be playful, be focused. Those 3 things is one of the that's those 3 things you want to bring in when you play poker or do anything else in life, basically, where you want to improve, where you want to deliver your best, whatever it is. Be playful, be absorbed, be focused. That will bring you the best results. And here I lost my focus and played some hands bad. But I have done it many times before, and I will probably also do this in the future. I'm not doing it very often anymore. I'm actually getting really good at being focused and committing myself for those number of hours I have decided when I play poker. But it happened to me yesterday, and I probably lost some money in the process. We are gonna go through 4 hands today, and as usual we are using the pre-flop helper, which is provided by the Mastermind, which is a coaching site for Limit Omaha strictly, which Jane Anders has created with his team, and I shall leave a link for it in the description below. So we have been looking for hands that I not usually will open under the gun, but I've started to incorporate, and this is probably one of those hands I would have kicked out because of these low wheel combinations. They don't tend to play very good. If we take a look at the pre-flop helper here, it says that it is a raise first in 100% of the time, and we do call free bets 100% of the time. So it's fine open. This guy goes ahead and call with 6-6 5-3 single suit. I don't think it's a call in the small blind. I'm pretty sure it's not, but won't go further into that. And the big blind folds, and I flop here a gut shot and then a flush draw. I have no showdown value. We have a stack to pot ratio of 9-ish, and our villain here flops middle set. No showdown value, then we are usually going to start to bet, especially when we have this much equity, and we want to be polarized when we get to the river. He goes ahead and check raises middle set, which is decent. I don't think we can fold out this much equity when we face this check raise. So I do go ahead and make the call to see a turn card, and I pick up a bunch of equity on the turn, a straight draw to go with it. So when he jams here, there's no way around it. We have to put the money in, and it bricks on the river, and our villain ends up scooping a pot. So that was one hand. Next hand we're gonna go through is this one here, where I don't think he should be opening 10-9-8-5 single suited, but could actually take a look at it quite quick here if it is an open. Just a second. Again, they can do whatever they want to do. It is ranked in top 58, so I'm pretty sure it's not normal. But let's take a look at it here. Small blind, and put it in. Yeah, 100% fold, but it's okay. We go ahead and free bet with weak aces. He is a short stagger. Starts out with 60 big blinds, and we want to lower that stack to pot ratio and push equity as much as we can in a spot like this. So we have an overpair and not much else. We have a stack to pot ratio of 3, isn't it what it is? See, 13.02 divided by 4.5, 2.8, 2.9, yeah. And he checks a pot. He has a top and bottom and a gut shot. He check raises. I have 27% equity. I need 29, so I don't get it in a good spot. But I don't think there's much to do here, and he bangs the turn. So nice hand by him, but just a small pot to show. But what we otherwise can do here to try and investigate this spot a little bit more is to try to poke it into poker use and see how we're doing versus normal ranges here. So we will give the small blind here a raise first in of let's give him 40. So he raised, we free bet, he calls. So here on the flop we have this stack spot ratio of 2.8, 2.9. He checks, we bet, and he check jams. And if we see range versus my hand versus that range, which is actually a little bit wider, he should only be opening 34%, which do skew it a little bit, but there we actually have versus the range 58% equity, and that's kind of what we have to go with. If we kind of change this here to 30, I guess I could put 34 in, but I don't know how to do that yet. And then we'll see here we actually go up to 60%. When his range is narrower, our equity in this spot here goes up a little bit. So I think it's a fine stack off versus the range, and yeah, there's just not much you can do about that. We're gonna go to have one more hand in poker juice today. So just gonna clean it up here, and yeah, losing a stack there. That what happens. Next hand here is a hand where I actually misplayed a little bit pre-flop. So this guy opens with a king, queen, jack, single suited under the gun, pretty standard. I go ahead and free bet with 7-7-5-5 double suited. I want to push out equity from these guys here and get this one heads up. I can easily call a 4-bet if he decides to 4-bet. He decides to call. Actually try and do a little bit of investigation about this guy's pre-flop play, because I think in theory he should actually go ahead and maybe fold to a free bet when he is out of position. Nevertheless, we can take a look at what I've done here. It is in the cutoff. It is a free bet if he is an MP, but versus early position it's only a call. So I make a mistake there. Let's see, EP and put it in. Yeah, it is a raise first in, and he should fold to a free bet every time, but he called, and that's fine. So we do not flop a whole lot, but it is a quite connected board with flush draws and straight draws, which is not a huge amount of this guy's range, but I still elect to utilize my power of position and just check it back. Turn a set here, but a lot of things complete, so he goes ahead and check, and I go ahead and check it back again, and I river a boat, and now he fires out a half post size bet with trips, and I am sitting there and thinking, is this too weak to raise? But I just really, I mean, he will call with exactly the hand he has, I think. So it is too weak, but it was my thinking, will I ever get caught by worse? He can have some jack-8 combinations here, which beats me, so I just go ahead and make the call. But this is kind of one of my weaknesses. I don't always get the value in these spots on the river as I'm supposed to get, because I'm not fearless enough. But yeah, I'm still not completely sure if I should raise here, but I'm 75% sure I should raise here. The last hand we are gonna go through today is this little beauty, where this guy here, he makes a absolutely beautiful call down on the river. He opens up with ace jack 8-5 double suited under the gun, totally standard. I flat call here with ace jack 10-6, which I was actually a little bit in doubt if these single suited combinations is very often calling combinations, and it has a lot of nuttiness in it if some of the blinds here want to come along. And if we take a look at it here, it is a call versus, it doesn't say a bunch of things versus early position, but versus MP it is a call 82% of the time, so it's probably fine versus early position. It can't be too much out of whack. Nevertheless, I flop bottom pair and a flush draw, and this guy flops like a straight draw and a backdoor flush draw. So he goes and bet, hopes to take it down. I just go ahead and call with the equity I have. And here on the turn, I pick up a bunch of equity. He makes the nut straight, but he also picks up a nut flush draw. So he goes ahead and check. I was thinking here, so just check it back and try and realize my equity, but also thinking, I can't really get to the river with what shall I say, and represent a reasonable line on different rivers. So he goes ahead and check calls, and the river breaks, and I probably tank a little bit too long before I make this bet. I tried to decide if this guy was the type of guy who was having a fold button, and he probably is capable of folding a lot of hands, but it's just when all the flushes and all that breaks, then it's just a beautiful call down with his straight there. And he's blocking. No, he's not blocking. He's having. Yeah, he is blocking like the nut straight with a 10-8 with his 8 there. So beautiful call down there, and I lose. If we try and take a look at the ranges play here on poker juice. So here this gun range should be, let's say 20%. It should be 18.6, I think it is. So I go ahead and call here, and go ahead and call, and here on the turn I should have 44% equity versus his range. I go ahead and bet, and he go ahead and check. So here in this spot here, we are I'm sorry, I'm making a mistake here, kind of to investigate this correctly. Pre-flop, this guy under the gun, raise first in of 20. This guy, hero, should have 15% flatting range, and what is it? We should free bet here. Is it like 6%? So we should have a range that looks like this, and use range here. Yeah. So we get to the turn. On the turn, we should have on this board here 48% equity, and on the river we should have range versus range 46% equity. So we should be able to get him to fold his hand a decent portion of the time. So I think it's an okay bet here on the river when it breaks out and we sit here and come up empty with like a pair of sixes. So it is an okay bluff, I think, but and with the 10 blocker here to 10-8, I think it's an okay bluff. I don't think we can avoid bluffing in this spot here on the river, but yeah, didn't work out this time, so it is what it is. I am going back to the tables and start to grind it out some more, and that was it for today. I wish you all the best of luck in life.